So hey everyone, in this video we are gonna list all of our nodes that we have created and those are in our database onto our home screen, alright, along with those edit and delete buttons. Okay, so that you in this video you can get to learn a feature, to list all of the particulars or nodes that we have in our database, okay, in the form of lists. Alright, so first of all we just have this simple hello world on our main page that is on localhost slash. Okay, so in the one of our previous videos we have already built the header and the main content right here. Okay, so let's now go ahead and first build the header, which would just take not less than a minute. Okay, and now we are after that we are gonna go ahead and list all of our nodes that we have created in our database. All right, so within the source directory, let's create a folder out there for our components. Okay, all right, components, and right inside that we are going to create our very first component of our header. Okay, header.jsx, like this, and let's sketch out a functional component, and we are just going to give some tailwind classes and just just show the title of the use nodes app that we are building, right? So let's go into this div and let's give certain class names. Okay, so let's give it a background of blue. Okay, and of course you can just tweak into any kind of style which you like to have. Okay, so let's give some padding and let's change the text to white. So text white, like so, and I'm just gonna like give the class of header. Okay, so not a class, so this will also be inside a div. All right, so let's call use nodes and let's give it some class names. All right, and let's enlarge the text of 2xl and let's give the font of bold. Okay, so we're gonna bold the font, not font, it's font, and this is our header. Okay, so remember in our last video or one of those previous videos we have this something called as layout.tsx, which I already explained that this acts like a template for all of our different routes that we create. So let's go ahead and replace this header, which we are actually just showing here just as a normal text, and let's replace that with our actual header that we just created. So header, and let's auto import that. Okay, so I'm hitting control space. Okay, so actually there's for some reason it is not auto importing, so let me just check. So never mind, we are gonna import manually. Import header from that is at the rate. Okay, so we are using the import alias slash slash component slash header. All right, so, okay, so that error should go away, and now if we go and have a look at our application, okay, for some reason the header is not being rendered out. Okay, so there might be some issue with the styling. So I just forgot to give it the variant. Okay, so we should also need to mention the variant of the color in Tailwind. So if you just go back to our application now, and there we have our simple yet like boring looking header. Okay, so we're just gonna not focus much on styling but on the features of Next.js. All right, so now let's go and list all of our different nodes that we have within our database, okay, in the form of a list along with those edit and delete buttons. So now let's go to the page.tsx and replace whatever contents we have. Okay, so for now it's just showing the hello world. Okay, so also let's change the name of this component, so we can just show all nodes. Okay, so you can just name this anything. Okay, so this will not affect your the name of your route, so this will just be slash. Okay, so whatever the whichever the directory you're in, so that will be the route of your file. Okay, so now let's go and sketch out our component. So as I told in the previous video, in order to fetch any kind of data from our database, so we do not need any kind of use effect hook. or we can just directly make the component itself an async function and then make a query to our database. So that's what we are just gonna do. So let's mark this component as asynchronous, and within that we are gonna make our call to our database. Okay, so first let's call the connect to db function that we have created in our previous video, connect to db, and let's call that. And once our database or connection to our database is established, we are gonna make a call to our we are gonna fetch all the different nodes. Okay, so let's create a variable called nodes and set this equal to await. Okay, so since this is a mongoose model, this is asynchronous, we need to write it within an async function. So we are going to import now the node module. Okay, so node dot find. Okay, so this will go ahead and find all of the nodes that we have in our database just like this, and this will store within this variable called nodes. Okay, so now if I just console log what do we actually get, okay, from this nodes variable. So like this. Okay, and also we need to define the types for that. Okay, so I'll just create an interface called like types or called nodes. Okay, node types. Okay, can name whatever you want, and the first thing is we are going to get the id, which is going to be string, and then we are going to get the title. Okay, title and the content, not like this, which is string, and then the content. Alright, so our types is defined. Let's go ahead and assign them called as title types. Okay, sorry, node types. Okay, and this is going to be an array. Okay, so just like this, so because we'll be getting this in the form of an array of objects. Okay, so our type is now defined, and let's now go ahead and make a call to this. So once we make a request to localhost 3000 / so this will make a request to the backend to fetch all of the different nodes that we have. Okay, so when we have a look at our console, you see that MongoDB is connected, and this will return us an array of objects of whatever the nodes that we have in our database. Okay, so far so good. So we are right now getting all of the different nodes. So now let's go ahead and do the interesting part of like mapping across all the different nodes that we have, and like list them all out. Okay, so let's replace this hello world, and let's give it a h2 tag of you know what, I'll just put it inside the fragments. Okay, so because I'll be having multiple components inside this, so h2 tag, and let's give the title of nodes, and right inside this I'm going to map across all the different nodes that we have. Okay, so let's open our unordered list, and within that let's use the expression to loop across all the nodes that we have. Okay, so nodes dot map. Alright, so for every node that we have, we are gonna return some amount of gsx. Okay, so inside that let's open our li tag, and over there I'm just gonna give it the unique key prop. Okay, remember for every list that we are going to render, so in React or Next.js we need to always give it a unique key prop. Okay, so for reconciliation process, so that is going to be node.id. okay, so since this is always unique, we gotta give that as key, and let's also style this a little bit. I'm going to give class name of flex. Okay, so I'm just gonna like display this as a flex box with items center. Alright, and justify in between, and I'm just gonna give it a slight background of grayish. Okay, in order to style this a little bit, so gray slash let's give it a light one of how about 100, and I'm gonna give it a little bit of shadow of medium variant, and giving it a border radius of rounded medium, and padding of course. Okay, so this is all like basic styling, okay, which you can also go ahead and do it. So if you don't understand anything, you can just hover on this. This will give you the description once you have the Tailwind IntelliSense extension downloaded. Okay, and let's give it some margin on the bottom of 4, and let's give it a cursor pointer. Okay, so when we click on this should give us the detail of the particular node, okay, which we'll be doing in the one of the next videos. Okay, so within the li tag, let's open our span tag to display the title of our node. Okay, so span, and I'm going to open the expression which is going to be note dot title like this, and also let's style this span tag. Okay, so I'm just gonna give it a little text of large. Okay, so all of this I have just tried it myself. Okay, so I am already having the script by myself, so if you want you can just style this of course in your own ways. Okay, so and below this I am just gonna give it a button, okay, in order to have those edit and delete buttons. So that's why I'm giving it in the form of a flex box. Okay, so let's open our div. Okay, I'm gonna do it just like this, called bg dash blue dash 500. Okay, so in case if this is kind of boring, right, you can just skip to the next part, which I'll be also mentioning the timestamps for this video. Okay, and also the source code will also be available on GitHub, so that you can just copy and paste if you are too lazy enough to type in all the CSS, which I also do understand. All right, so let's continue with text white, and let's give it some padding on the x-axis, okay, and on the y-axis. Okay, and let's give it a rounded of medium, and let's also, when we hover on this, it should give it a brighter variant of blue. Okay, so hover colon bg dash blue dash 600. Okay, so before it was 500, now it is 600 when you hover on it. Okay, so if I just hit tab like this, alright, so this will go ahead and print out all of our class names, and right within that we are gonna put in the edit button. Okay, so this is going to be edit, and we can just duplicate this down once, and do the same for delete. Okay, so option shift down, and let's change this to delete, and also let's replace this blue with red. Okay, so I'm hitting command D to select the next instance and give it red. Alright, so that's done. I hope this wasn't too boring. So if you want you can just of course move ahead with the timestamps and skip this part. And now let's go ahead and see what do we have within our UI. Okay, so this kind of looks a little awful. Okay, so I just forgot to wrap these two buttons inside a div and give it some space, and also I forgot to style the header. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So I'm just going right between these buttons and giving it a div of the class name of space x of 2. Okay, so this will give us a little bit of space in between these two buttons, and let's shift this top like so, and if we save this will auto format, and let's style the heading over here. Okay, let's give it text of 2XL and font bold, and giving it a certain margin on the bottom like so. Okay, so now let's have a look at what do we have. Is this the right flex box that I'm using? So my bad, this should be button and not div. Okay, so while talking and typing I make such mistakes. Okay, so let's change this to button and this as well. Okay, so now let's have a look. Yeah, I guess I need to give some space in between, give it a container class. Okay, so let's go to our layout.tsx and give it a container class. Okay, so also I'm gonna append container class to our body. So let's wrap this children with a div with a class of container, which will give us a space on both the sides. Okay, so dot container, and also I'm going to space it place it in between. So we have a property called margin x auto. Okay, so this will center all the things together, and let's hit enter, and let's place the children in between these. Alright, alright, so that's done, and let's remove this default the font. Okay, so we can just stick with the defaults, and let's have a look now. Okay, also let's give it some kind of padding. So this layout kind of looks okay to me. Okay, I know it's not the best, but something to work with. Okay, so we have listed all of our different nodes. I know it's just one single node, so let's also add in some few more nodes. Okay, so we have already built this kind of form in one of our last videos, right, to add a node to our database. So let's go to /add. Okay, so we have this simple ugly looking form with the title and the content. So let's give this another test title 2. Okay, and this is some content. Okay, so when we click on add node, it should redirect us back to the home screen, and this will make us make a server action, which I already explained in the last video. So I'm just not going deep into that. And if I click on add node, yeah, there we go. So we have another node being added. Okay, so for now we are not displaying any kind of content, because in one of the next videos we are gonna view the particular node along with the title and the description. Okay, so for now we are just showing overview of the nodes that we have. So if the user wants to know much more about this node, you can click on this and take us to another page, that is something called as the view page, and then display the content there. Okay, so for now it works really good. So I hope you understood how to list like certain records in Next.js, and also how to add certain class names and render them out into our home screen. All right, and also we will be making these edit and delete buttons work. Okay, so in one of those next videos, that we will be having a fully fledged CRUD application of creating, reading, updating and deleting in Next.js. All right, in specific. So and after that we'll also be learning more and more features along the way. All right, so we will end this video for now. So in the next video we are gonna make these buttons work, and also to list all of the content along with the title. And for now, if you have any questions, please leave it down in the comments below. I will try to answer them. And if you like this video, please subscribe and share it with your friends, and make this course even more engaging. All right, so I'll see you in the next video.